Hi everyone, how's the conference going? Can you hear me quite well? I can hear myself, so I think that's good news. I see the room is packed. My name is Xenophon Kondouris. I'm the founder of Athens Labs and the co-founder of the Keros Idea. I am here to show you what the Keros Idea is about, and we are trying to use the future, which is NFTs, to save the past. And if you want to know how we're going to do it, it's going to be like this. We're going to use this thing right there to save our past. What exactly are we doing? Well, this is the first output of the series of 6. And before I start, I want to ask you a question. What do you think this is? Does anybody have any guess? That's a very good guess right there. That's indeed the dagger. This is the first output from a mold that was designed out of the research that we've conducted. And it's the first time something like this has happened fresh out of the mold in 4,500 years. So what exactly are we doing? Well, we are trying to work with a number of researchers, and we've started doing this, to help unearth and excavate a lot of the work being done at Keros. Now, what is Keros, and why are we called the Keros Idea? Well, Keros is an island in the Cyclades. Has anyone been to the Cyclades before? One person. Well, the Cyclades are islands in Greece. You may have heard some of them. Naxos, Paros, Mykonos. Anybody heard of Mykonos? Woo! So, Keros is a pretty big island smack in the middle of the Cyclades. But there's something quite interesting with Keros. No one lives there. There's no houses. There are no boats, no beaches. You're not allowed to step a foot in Keros because, as you see in the slide, it's one of the globe's most important sites and one that is not that well known, unfortunately. Some scholars would rank it at the same level as the Acropolis, but because you can't go and because it's not as famous, it's not very well known. You may have seen the figurines, which are on the side, and they are pretty much everywhere, but there's so much more to Keros. Because Keros was the center of Hellenic civilization around 4,500 years ago. People from all over the area, the Cyclades, traveled to Keros with a number of materials and ingredients to come and mint some of these daggers as a religious ceremony. It was, I'm forgetting the word, it's much like you would do going to Mecca. This is the same exact thing for people of the time. They did a pilgrimage towards the area because it was the center of religion. Now, we don't know much about the religion. This is the early Bronze Age. But a lot of people believe that these daggers were arguably the first social tokens or the it thing that you would have. These were what you would control if you were one of the biggest, powerful people of the area. And it was completely ceremonial. It wasn't there for any fighting or any arguing. It was there as a gift, something that you wanted to see. Now, we talked about the dagger. The gentleman that was here talked about the dagger before, but that's the first out of 6 outputs that we have for Keros. What we're trying to do is we're trying to work with the material that we've unearthed to create these daggers and create 6 different levels of these daggers. This is the first level. This is the digital output out of the 3D scans and the things that we've done to the molds found on Keros. But this is only the start. Our second one would be NFTs that will be sharpened, cleaned, beaten to the correct shape that they used to be. And these daggers, this is going to be the second level. The third part of our dagger is going to be a complete digital dagger. But then we're going to do exactly the same thing in the physical world. So the 4th series is going to be this output out of the mold for the first time in 4,500 years. We're going to take these daggers and we're going to sharpen them, shine them up, and beat them to the correct formation. And the last NFT, which is going to be one single NFT, is going to be an actual dagger associated with its 3D scan. That's going to be the first complete dagger that's been found and created in 4,500 years. That's complete. We haven't found any complete daggers like this, although we found hundreds, if not thousands of these daggers across the Cyclades because people came as a pilgrimage and took them back home. And this is exactly the process that you will hear me talk a bit more, but the team behind this is really the people that we want to support. Dr. Michael Boyd leads the excavation at Keros with his crew from Cambridge University. Alongside Michael, you have Mirto, you have Rosie and David, and there's 20 more people currently in Keros excavating the items that we're trying to promote gradually with these NFTs. This is an experiment, you must understand, because we're trying to see how we can monetize our culture in ways that won't target and limit the research done with these artifacts. And alongside this team, you have Victoria and Aliki. Aliki was here earlier. You may have seen her. Victoria and Aliki are both experts with Greek museums and the classics. And then myself and my team at Athens Labs helping with the creation of the actual NFTs. A quick parenthesis here. We are going to be doing a number of NFTs. Most of them are going to be 1155s on Ethereum. For people that know, that's important because we can help create and generate continuous revenue every time these are traded. We're also going to be doing 721s, but that's just for the initial community. And this is the process I described beforehand, right? 6 different steps. The first step would be the output in the digital format after we create the digital molds. The second would be the sharpening and beating of these daggers. The third one would be the complete dagger in the digital format, and then exactly the same thing in the physical side. And these are going to be the NFTs. As you see, it's diminishing in numbers, so it's increasing in rarity. That's because the last one is going to be the single dagger that's going to be made physically and complete in thousands of years. And the timeline is we've been working on this for quite some time. We believe that we're going to have every NFT ready, and we will start selling in this quarter, but we're going to have everything ready by the end of the summer. After the summer, we will move to a spear, which is another item found in Keros, but not as popular, not as famous as the daggers. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. And that's my very quick presentation. I'm more than happy to address any questions. Thank you, thank you. If you do want to follow us, the Keros Idea written like that can be found both on Telegram and on Instagram. We are now building a community. You guys are the first to hear about this project that's not directly related with us. So first mover advantage, I guess, for anyone that want to ask any questions and want to learn more about this. Any questions? Yes. It's Hussein, you want to? Yeah, I think I can repeat your question. Absolutely. So the question was what other perks and what other things you can enjoy as supporting Keros, where we are going to be creating a very exclusive community of people that are trying to support archaeological research, especially people that are philhellenes and they care about these things. This is going to be around less than 50 people, really. This is going to provide additional news and resources. Because we're supporting actual excavation and research, we expect that a number of these people will have their names listed across some of the research found that was funded by their sites. This is a philanthropic cause. It's an ethical way of using NFTs to help unearth and reconstruct and explore the history and past. So it's not the same as many other NFT projects. It's a bit more unique because it's directly given to the excavation and to the people that need it. And if you know anything about Greece, money is kind of tight. So we have a lot of culture, a lot of things that we want to unearth and research, but we're underfunded. And this is a tremendous way for us to support them. And I hope I addressed your question. Thank you. Any other questions? Anybody?
Where would we be able to purchase the NFTs?
We are, the first 30 which are there for the community are going to be on OpenSea, very, very simple. We are in talks with a couple of other places for the next 5, and we would like the last NFT to be in one of the big auction houses. We don't have a platform ready for that yet, but I'm going to be in touch and I'm going to let you know. We are talking with them later in the month.
And are there any ideas to showcase these NFTs, like the final ones, in some sort of virtual gallery so that people can visit and interact with them?
Absolutely. That's one of the things that we really want to do. We want to have them. We might even try to partner with gaming as a skin, something that they can use for a little bit. We are on the process of opening up these conversations. We are focusing right now on the research and the creation of the NFTs so we can have the products ready, and then we want to go out there and explore.
Translate them to the different metaverses?
Absolutely, yes. I saw one more question. I see. Go ahead. I think it's inevitable. I think it's going to happen absolutely. I mean, the idea for the future, by the way, because there's so much data being created, I believe in 100 years from now, people will be able to come to our age and pretty much live like they would here. Why can't we do this for the 70s, 60s, 1800s, thousands BC if we have the research? Of course, it's not going to be as complete, but people already create a number of worlds for educational purposes when it comes to ancient Athens. But this, remember, this is 2,000 years before ancient Athens. This is 1,000 years before Crete and Knossos. So these items are really the cradle of our civilization. It was what led to the creation of the polis and of everything else that happened afterwards, for better or for worse, some would say. Another question, yeah. Well, fantastic question. How we can respect the heritage of this with the resources? By creating these NFTs, you inherently do so. The reason Keros is so underrated is because in the 60s, when the researchers from Cambridge went there for the first time, it was completely looted. Like all of the island of Keros was looted. There was hundreds, if not thousands, of artifacts taken away in private collections and sold by the big auction houses, by the way, illegally. The good thing is that the small island of Daskalo, which was the one pictured, which was connected to Keros with a land bridge back in the day and was the center port for the area, they ignored it. They thought it was not important. But turns out that was the center of the whole island. And that's where all of the items have been found. It was built from bottom to the top. It had a water fountain is not the correct word. It had water that was fresh in one of the sides. So it was the center. And the looters, because they were not protecting the heritage and they didn't know or care, they completely missed the most important artifacts. By us creating these NFTs, we allow for the monetization of these cultural items in order to explore and continue finding and respecting and reconstructing these items. So it's inherently a way for that to happen. And I would add, it's a great way to incentivize governments, which could make some income out of this, to participate and join the metaverse and the world of NFTs and crypto assets. So, thank you. Any other questions? Nobody? Any stories from Mykonos that I want to share? Nobody? Well, with that, I want to say thank you all for joining. I hope you had a lovely day and a lovely presentation, and I'm always open to answer any other questions you may have. Thank you very much.